Brahmanda Purana, Part 5, Lalita Mahatmya, Chapter 38, Procedure of Practicing the Royal Mantra. Agastya said, the great narrative, such as the great manifestation of the goddess, the slaying of Bhandasura, and the stay at Srinagara of the goddess have been heard. Now I wish to hear the means of practicing her mantra and the characteristics of her mantras. Please recount all this. Hayagriva said, the verbal product or the word is greater than all other objects. Of all words and utterances, O sage, the collection of the Vedic hymns is the greatest. The footnote says, verse 3 to 10 gives a gradation of mantras in importance and decides that Lopamudra mantra, that is the mantra beginning with Ha, and the Kamaraja mantra, that is the mantra beginning with Ka, are the most efficacious. Sri Alavani, the local tantrika whom I used to consult on such matters, told me that there is a Lopamudra mantra starting with Ha, and starting with Ka there is a Kadi or Kamaraja mantra. When I inquired about the meaning of these disconnected syllables, he refused to disclose to an uninitiated person like me. But I found Lakshmidhara saying the same about Kadi mantra in his commentary on Saundarya Lahari, verse 32. The verse may be translated as follows. The letters or mantras indicated by Shiva, Shakti, Kama and Kshiti. Then Ravi, Chandra, Smara, Hamsa and Shakra. Then Para, Mara, Hari, when joined at the end of each pada with the particle Mayabij. O Divine Mother, the form, the limbs of certain aspects of thine. So the mantra is deduced as follows in 3 stages. The mantra of 15 syllables is the keystone of this cult. This is the Kadi Vidya. Kaivalya Shrama interprets this very verse as Hari Vidya as follows in 3 stages, starting with Ha. The only difference between Kadi and Hari mantras is only of 3 syllables, viz. Ka, E and I. These are known as male seeds, and these are used for the pada in Hari Vidya, Saundarya Lahari. Verse 33. The symbols used in verse number 12 to 14 to express the seeds of the mantra are different than those given in Saundarya Lahari. Of all the hymns in the Vedas, the Vedic mantras, spells and secret formulae are greater than the rest. The mantras pertaining to Vishnu are greater than all other Vedic mantras. The mantras pertaining to Durga are greater than those Vishnu mantras. O sage, in regard to vigor and efficacy. O sage, the mantras pertaining to Ganapati are greater than those of Durga. The mantras of the sun god are greater than the previous ones, and those of Shiva are still greater than these. The mantras of Lakshmi are more powerful than those of Shiva, and the mantras of Saraswati are more excellent than those of Lakshmi. The mantras of Girija, Parvati, are greater than those of Saraswati. The mantras of various kinds handed down by sacred tradition, Amnaya, are greater than those of Parvati. Of all traditional mantras, the Varaha, Manu's mantras pertaining to goddess Varahi are more excellent than the above. The excellent mantras of Shyama, Rajashyamala or Matangini are more splendid than the rest. O slayer of Ilvala, The mantras of Lalita of 10 different types are greater than they. Among those 10, O suppressor of the Vindhya mountain, two leading mantras are more efficacious. They are well known as Lopa Mudra and Kama Raja. That mantra which begins with Ha is Lopa Mudra. That which begins with Ka is Kama Raja. The great Ishvara, Kama Raja, is expressed by Hamsa and other words. Goddess Sri Lalitambika is expressed by the words Smara, etc. The difference between Hari beginning with Ha and Kadi beginning with Ka mantras is caused by three varnas or letters. Of those of these two, the Kamaraja mantra is the bestower of siddhis of those who are devout. The leading mantra of Hamsa, etc., that is of the Maheshwara, is expressed by three sets of five Panchatrika, namely, first set by Shiva, Shakti, Kamakshati, Arth, and Maya. Second set by Hamsa, Maheshwara or Swan, Bhrigu, Kama, Shashi, Mauli, Moon Crested Shiva, and Shakra. Third set by Bhuvanesha, the Lord of the Universe, Chandra, the Moon, God of Love, Kshiti, and Hrilekha, line of the heart. The leading mantra of Kama, etc., that is Sri Lalitambika, having Smara as the source of origin, is expressed in the mouth of Sri. Those highly fortunate ones who worship with Panchatrika, Mahavidya, the mantra expressed by three sets of five, that is 15 letters, which describes Lalitambika, which describes Lalitamba, will have Siddhi everywhere. After receiving from the great good preceptor the mantra sanctified and consecrated by three Pancharna, 3 multiplied by 5 letters, that is 15 letters, the learned devotee should practice it very well in the manner expressed below. The footnote says verse number 70 to 32 Verse number 17 to 32 describe the procedure of sadhana for getting mastery over the Lalita mantra. I shall mention it in due order. O sage, listen attentively. The devotee should get up early in the morning and think about of having in his head a brilliant lotus having the splendor of 1,000 petals, fine filaments, and good pericarp. He should meditate upon his noble and exalted preceptor who is kindly disposed and merciful as stationed in that lotus. Thereafter, he should go out and carry out routine cleaning activities. After returning, anoint he should anoint his body with scented oil. He should take bath in hot and pure water and apply unguents and perfumes over his body. Water is sacred and pure by nature. What then when it gets into contact with fire and is heated? Hence, one should take bath in hot water. If that is not available, any available water may be used. He should then wear clean clothes, red or brown in color. He should then perform achamana, ceremonious sipping of water, with great purity in mind and body. The learned devotee should mentally meditate upon the great Ambika, Mother Goddess. He should put sacred marks on his forehead in the manner to which he is accustomed, viz. Urdhva, Urdhva Pundra in the shape of capital U, Panchavardhana in the shape of the leaf of castor oil plant, Tripundra, three parallel and horizontal lines, or Agastya Patra shaped like the leaf of Agasti grandiflora, pure in soul, mind. He should perform Sandhya Vandana in a secluded spot. He should offer Arghya, water oblation, along with Darbha grass, raw rice, flour, and sandal paste in a vessel of the shape of the leaf of an Ashwatha, Ficus religiosa tree. Since she too is a deity deserving Arghyas, he should offer 3 arghyas to Lalita. In accordance with his ability, he should perform for propitiating her the Tarpana rites to goddess Lalita with the Mula mantra at the beginning, and later to the Devas, the sages, and the mains in accordance with the injunctions. He should then worship the sun god as well as the goddess as stationed in the disk of the sun. Silently and pure in heart, he should enter the sacrificial chamber. He should apply over his body excellent camphor, mask, sandal paste, and other unguents. He should adorn his limbs with ornaments. He should dress himself beautifully and lovably. He should embellish his hair with fragrant flower garlands. In the matter of ornaments, there are no strict rules to be followed. He can have ornaments in accordance with his wealth, or he can have ornaments in sankalpa, imagination. He should then perform the nyasa rites, assignment of the parts of the bodies to various deities mentioned subsequently in the section on worship. He should perform rites in due order. He should be seated on a smooth and soft seat. He should then meditate on the great Srinagara. He should meditate on the divine Srinagara, beginning with the park of different kinds of trees and ending with Lalita. He should be pure within and without, unembarrassed and undismayed. He should perform worship along the path procedure mentioned in the Puja Khanda, the section on worship. He should take up rosary, rendered fragrant by means of camphor and mask. Seated facing the north or the east, he should perform japa of the goddess seated on the throne. If the devotee performs the japa 3,600,000 times, the Vidya would reveal herself into him gladly. Homa should be 1/10 of japa, that is 360,000. The tarpana shall be 1/10 of the homa, that is 36,000. The feeding of the brahmanas is expressed as 1/10 of the same, that is 3,600. After having achieved the mastery over the mantra, the devotee should continue japa for other purposes desired by him. The footnote says, verse number 33 to 62 describe the fruits or powers one achieves after performing specific quantity of japa of mantra. By performing japas 100,000 times, he can control all human beings. By performing japas 200,000 times, he can fascinate and win over woman. By performing japas 300,000 times, he can control all beings and win them over. When the completed japas come to 400,000 times, the daughters of serpents become excited in love for him. When the japas reach 500,000 times, the women of Patala become excited for him. The entire group of beautiful women of the Bhuloka earth shall be won over by performing japa 600,000 times. The fawn-eyed beauties of the Swargaloka heaven become excited by 700,000 japa. All those who are born of the race of Devas can be won over and subdued by means of 800,000 japas. One shall win over all gods by means of 900,000 japas. The footnote says, Venkat edition deletes the line, he can control the guardians of quarters like Indra by 1 million japa. One can win over and subdue Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara by means of 1,100,000 japas. One can achieve the 8 siddhis, superhuman powers, by means of 1,200,000 japas. It was through this mantra that Indra achieved Indrahood, Vishnu his Vishnuhood, Shiva his status as Shiva. Indu, the moon god, achieved his moonhood by means of this. Bhanu, the sun god, achieved his solar status through this. Understand that the different refulgent mystic powers of all devas have been acquired by this prominent mantra. The person who performs japa of this mantra shall be rid of all sins. He shall have the most handsome features in all the three worlds. He can enchant and fascinate even the god of love. He shall be endowed with all siddhis. He shall be omniscient and shall be worshipped by all. Merely by his sight he can feel the inner heart of all others. He shall be equal to Vachaspati, preceptor of Devas, in eloquent speech. In glory and magnificence he shall be equal to the wind god. In steadiness and firmness he will be like the Himalaya mountain. In loftiness he will be equal to Meru. In depth and majesty he shall be like a great ocean. Within a trice he can cause excitement in villages, rural settlements, cities, etc. by his personality. By slightly bending his eyebrows he can stun the evil-minded ones, cause yawning them, dispel them, enchant them, and even kill them. He will possess the punitive powers got by black magic. His speech is sweet like the current of Ganga. O pod-born sage, there is nothing unknown to him among the scriptures. He is competent to expound and refute all systems of philosophy. He knows the entire range of tattvas. He becomes omniscient. His heart is soft and tender with kindness towards all creatures. The three worlds are incapable of being an object of his fiery rage. At his sight, fawn-eyed ladies become excited and experience the following. The knot of their garments round the waist becomes untied or loosened. Their girdles slip down. On account of cluster of drops of sweet, they appear to be adorned with pearls. On account of excessive passion, their eyes rove. Rows and rows of their bangles set with jewels slip off from their lotus-like hands. They become motionless due to the stiffness of their thighs. Due to bashfulness, their faces are bent down. Their pudenda muliebra exude liquid secretions. Hairs on the body standing on their ends serve the purpose of ornaments. By the activities of the god of love, they appear to have completely changed forms. Clusters of flames at clusters of flames of excessive passion make them blaze as it were. They appear to be burned by showers of fiery arrows of the god of love. They are afflicted by anxiety. They seem to suffer on account of the fever of love. They are dried up due to bashfulness. They have forsaken the sense of dignity of their family, caste, ethical conduct of life, shyness, retinue, fear of the world, fear of kinsmen, and fear from the other world too, and they earnestly request him in their heart of hearts. Those beautiful ladies rush him where he stays, in the forest, in the city, or in the temple, or in other place. Just as a drop of water, when blown about, moves up and down on a lotus leaf, so also the minds of beautiful ladies become restless on seeing him. He is humble and modest, driving away the rude and impolite persons in the greatest achievement. Rows and rows of all lords serve him. The footnote says, he is the veritable huge fire who melts the butter in the form of ladies. He is so exceedingly seductive. When Triloki Lalana, the three worlds in the form of a woman, shines with the discs of the moon and the sun as her two breasts, begging to love him at his very sight, then, O ascetic, what need be said about other women more wretched and pitiable. There is the holy proclamation of his fame and glory in all cities, streets, quadrangles, and in parks perpetually. It acts as the heavenly tree, Kalpaka tree, yielding everything that we wish for. At his very sight and signs of sinners perish. Only his good qualities are proclaimed everywhere by leading poets. Those who meditate on the great goddess Mahadevi by means of different letters, weapons, different vehicles, and ornaments attain the respective superhuman powers or siddhis relevant to them. That is, the letters used in japa, the form of goddess meditated upon, etc. The first part of the mantra has the fine white luster of the jasmine and the moon. That should be thought and pondered over at the root of Ahas chakra, wheel of the day. It has blazing flames. The second part of the mantra is like the glowworm. It should be observed in the Ahas chakra as one with shining flames till the tip of the hair on the head. The footnote says the text reads Aha chakra. It should be amended as Ahar chakram up to the plexus yogic chakra at the heart. The next footnote says the text is corrupt. It should be as the Nirnaya Sagara text. It should be observed at the yogic plexus in the heart, lustrous like a fire blazing with flames. The third part of the dispel all sins should be observed in the follow of the two-petaled lotus placed inside the lotus of Bala and others. The footnote says the Venkateshwara praise text reads as Baladi Padmastha. The Nirnaya Sagara text gives a better reading Lalata Patastha, that which is at the forehead. The yogic plexus is of two petals. For the sake of salvation, Ambika, with white complexion and feature like the moonlight, should be meditated upon. The footnote says, verse number 67 to 71, various dhyanas of Lalita for different objectives or fruits. If the rites for winning over and subduing others, the goddess should be meditated upon as having the red luster of the dusk. For the acquisition of all sorts of wealth, the goddess with dark complexion is thought of. For making others silent and dumb, the blue complexioned goddess is meditated upon. If the rites for making others benumbered, stiff, and paralyzed, the yellow complexioned goddess is meditated upon. For the acquisition of power of composing poems, Lalitambika, with white complexion, free from impurities and sparkling like crystals, should be meditated upon. For the acquisition of wealth, Lalitambika, with golden complexion, is contemplated. Those who meditate upon her as a great mass of splendor refulgent like a ruby lamp from the Muladhara chakra to the Brahmarandhra, the aperture on the crown of the head, shall achieve all siddhis, supernatural powers. Thus, O pot-born sage, those who observe and meditate upon Sri Devi by means of various types of dhyanas obtain great glory and wealth. This is attained only by good people, never by bad people. Only they by whom severe penance has been practiced do perform meditation. He who meditates has no subsequent birth. He who is not Sankara himself never gains mantra vidya of Lalita Parameshwari. If this mantra is possessed by anyone in a family, the members of his family shall be gratified and liberated. There is no doubt about it. This is decided in all the scriptures that this lore about the goddess is concealed and hidden. Her mantra is the greatest of all secrets. The Vedas and the scriptures eulogize Laliteshwari. She alone is the supreme Atman. She alone is the greatest destination. She alone is the greatest holy place of pilgrimage. She alone is the great fruit and result. Sages sing about her who gives 5 types of siddhis. Shankara and other meditate on her. The excellent gods, beginning with Brahma, worship her. She is not attained by any of the following types of people: persons of despicable conduct, accused ones, men of crooked minds who are against devas, those who indulge in futile arguments, those whose intellect wanders in vain, the spoiled ones, those who have no good habits, those who live upon the leavings of others, those who have been dropped down from their families, cruel ones, those who hate systems of philosophy and cults of religion, persons of sinful practice, those who censor good conduct and customs, haughty fellows, those who speak arrogantly, hypocrites, and those with excessive pride. To people like this, to people like these men as well as devas, she is inaccessible. It has already been said, O pot-born sage, that she is worthy of being worshipped by devas. It is for the purpose of slaying Bhandasura that she manifested herself from Chidagni, the fire of knowledge and consciousness. The form of Mahatripura Sundari is of extensive splendor. Laliteshwari was eulogized by Brahma as Kamakshi. The goddess is the goddess is designated Lalita, the coaxed deity, as she was caressed by the mind of God Shiva while he was meditating upon Lalitambika with utmost devotion. Whatever exploits whatever exploits she did have been recounted. In another section one shall in another section I shall mention the injunctions regarding the mode of worship as mentioned in scriptures. I shall mention her miraculous elegance and charm.